trade war. We now move to the Middle East, where a powerful video has surfaced showing the final moments of 15 emergency workers killed by Israeli troops in southern Gaza on March the 23rd. The footage was recovered from a slain paramedic's phone and shows a marked convoy of ambulances with flashing lights approaching the site near Rafah before being hit by gunfire. Let's have a look at this video.
يا رب يكونوا بخير. هي مرمين بسرعة حادث.
The Palestine Red Crescent Society says the workers were unarmed and responding to a call for help. Israel initially claimed the vehicles were moving suspiciously in darkness without any lights, but the IDF has now admitted that the account was inaccurate and says that soldiers mistook the convoy for a threat after an earlier strike on Hamas operatives. The military acknowledges mistakes were made and says an internal investigation is underway. International groups are demanding an independent probe. The UN confirms one of its workers was among the dead. Calls for accountability are growing amid ongoing Israeli strikes in Gaza. Here's what the Red Crescent Society said.
أن مركبات الإسعاف تحمل الشارة المحمية دوليا، رغم أن مركبات الإسعاف كانت تضيء أيضا مصابيح الإنارة، تعمد جنود الاحتلال إطلاق النار بشكل هستيري على فريق الإسعاف الذي كان يرتدي أيضا زي الهلال الأحمر، ما أدى إلى استشهاد.
We're now joined by Yeshaya Rosenman, Israeli journalist located in Jerusalem, Israel. Thank you very much for joining us, Yeshaya. Obviously, this is a incredibly complicated situation that's happened. What's the general reaction in Israel since this video has emerged of the moments before this incident happened?
Hi, thank you for having me. So, first of all, I would say I think it would be pertinent to clarify what we know and what we don't know. For example, Hamas is, on one hand, Hamas claims that the medics were tied up and executed. This is, of course, nonsense. There's no such footage. IDF completely denies this. What we do know is that the paramedics had arrived at the scene of where the IDF, where an ambush of IDF soldiers had taken out a Hamas terrorist and captured two more. That is the vehicle that they had come to. That is the emergency call they had responded to. Then the soldiers apparently mistook the ambulance for reinforcements that Hamas had sent. What IDF is also claiming to this moment is that 6 of those killed among the ambulance people riding in the ambulance were Hamas terrorists. We're officially part of Hamas's military wing. So the fact that Hamas terrorists move around within ambulances and all that is nothing new. They use hospitals as command centers and also UN positions. The Hamas's central electronic data center is under an UNRWA installation. That's another UN installation. So the fact that the UN, they're all implicated is nothing new. So I would say the Israeli public is not really. Again, the officials are sorting through it, and what they have said till now, they have not confessed to the full accusations of the UN. They have said that they are sorting out the matter, looking into the details, and Israeli investigations take time because, contrary to Hamas, that immediately declares exaggerated claims, we actually look into the facts.
Yeshaya, so it has been 15 medical personnel who were killed in this, including one United Nations worker. Why should people trust an Israeli internal probe into this matter other than an independent probe? Why should people trust that internal outlook on this investigation?
The IDF actually goes through the facts. What people should definitely not trust is Hamas's statements. Hamas's statements are routinely exaggerated and false and complete falsehoods. I'm not sure what this independent investigation would look like. If it's the UN, like I said, the UN is completely compromised. UNRWA workers are Hamas terrorists. So I don't know who this independent investigation would be. I think what should be trusted is if the IDF, what definitely should be trusted is when the IDF will give names and faces of those killed, and will be able to prove that these people are who was a Hamas operative and who was not.
Yeshaya, the IDF has already said mistakes were made. What's stopping a different body going into Israel, and especially after this video has been released, where Israel's statement has actually been contradicted before this video was released? The fact that Israel said that these ambulances were moving suspiciously in darkness, that has been proved wrong. Why shouldn't they support an independent probe into this?
Well, the IDF is first of all going through the details, checking into it on its own. Why? Because, as I said, the international bodies are compromised. We saw the ICC, International Criminal Court of Justice, with Karim Khan, who is now sanctioned by the United States. There is a deep distrust in Israel of the international bodies, and they will not cooperate with them. The Israeli officials will not allow this.
Yeshaya Rosenman, thank you very much for joining us. We stay in the Middle East now, where Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will visit Washington in the United States to meet President Donald Trump, discussing key issues including US tariffs, Israel-Turkey relations, Iran, and efforts to free hostages in Gaza. Netanyahu's office confirmed his visit following a surprise invitation from Trump after Netanyahu raised concerns about a 17% tariff imposed on Israeli goods. The tariffs are part of Trump's broader policy, potentially affecting Israeli exports like machinery and medical equipment. This comes despite Israel's move to eliminate its tariffs on US goods following a 40-year free trade agreement. The visit is the first diplomatic effort to negotiate the removal of these tariffs. We continue in the Middle East, where Hamas's armed wing has released a video on April the 5th showing two Israeli hostages, Maxim Herkin and Bar Kapherstein, alive in Gaza. Herkin, identified by his family, appears bandaged and under duress. The hostages were taken during Hamas's October the 7th attack that triggered the Gaza war. The video came a day after Israeli forces launched a new ground offensive in Gaza. Hamas warned this could risk hostages' lives. At least 58 hostages remain in captivity, with 34 confirmed dead, including 8 during a ceasefire. The attack on October the 7th resulted in over 1,200 Israeli deaths, and the ongoing conflict in Gaza has resulted in over 50,000 Palestinian deaths, according to local health officials.